guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bex, B-E-X, and in this week's video I'm gonna be giving you all an update on my life, an update on what 2L has been like, what I've been doing. I've realized that I haven't really said a lot about sort of my everyday, day-to-day schedule. I haven't really told y'all a lot about what I'm doing next summer, so I kind of just wanted to get into all of that. I'm actually in quarantine right now because I caught COVID, so I figured this would be the best time to do that since I have so much time on my hands now. And I will film more vlogs for you guys later. And yeah, so before we get into the video though, I never thought I'd be doing this. I told you guys, you know, when if I were to ever partner with anybody or ever be endorsing anything, it'd be stuff that I use, things that I like, things that I think are worth buying. If you know anything about me, I do like wearing special earrings and little dainty jewelry. I think especially as I've been trying to transition into more professional wear, I've been trying to find appropriate jewelry other than big hoops, and just I don't know, find jewelry that still allows me to express myself but also stay within the confines of the legal profession. And I think I found the jewelry that is going to help all of us ladies or guys still express ourselves, but a little bit toned down in a way. So this video is sponsored by Ana Luisa, and these are the way that they come. Ana Luisa is a jewelry company, and they make all of their jewelry, all of their products out of sustainable materials down to the packaging. So you'll see in this little box, even the box is made out of sustainable materials, and all of it is recycled. And so something else for me is I don't want to spend a lot of money on jewelry, but I want it to be still good quality and not turn green or turn brassy super quickly, because I'm not at a point financially in my life yet where I can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on jewelry yet. But until then, I think that Ana Luisa has some really fair pricing for the quality of jewelry that they're providing, as well as the sustainability of their company. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm wearing one of the pairs of the earrings that I got, and so I got two other pairs that I'm going to show you, and you're going to see what I'm talking about when I say that they are you know, cute, dainty jewelry, but still allowing you to express yourself. So this is one of my favorite pairs that they have. I think that this is so cute. I wish it would focus. I'll show you guys in a close-up video, but this pair, it just has this blue marbling, and so you see what I mean by not super big but still really cute, and allows you to sort of add a pop of color and just do something creative with your look, you know. And I'm not one to really be a fashionista or anything with you guys. I like showing you guys my outfits and stuff, but this is definitely, you know, this is me just trying to share with you guys how I am trying to find a way to sort of get into my adulthood and dress a little bit more professionally, I guess. I don't know. And then these pair of snake earrings, which again I'll show you a little bit better on something else, but these are my favorite. I think the blue marble is probably my second favorite. I like these because these give me that hoop effect, and I really like wearing hoops. But these are definitely my favorite because I just think they're so cute and small, but super creative, and a little bit sexy, okay? You can still be sexy in the workplace. So these are just the only three pairs, but there's so much more if you go onto the Ana Luisa website and check them out. The description, in my description box below, you'll see the link where you can find Ana Luisa, and you'll see my discount code. Never thought I'd be saying that either, but you can see my discount code BEX10 to get 10% off of your order. I highly suggest, if you've been looking for some cute jewelry that you can wear in the workplace, that you can wear at school, that's still allowing you to express yourself but not super crazy, I would definitely go to Ana Luisa, especially if you care about the environment and you're caring about, you know, where your products are coming from and where you're putting your money. I would highly suggest you guys checking Ana Luisa out for your jewelry needs. Okay, so now let's get into my update. Okay, so you guys know, first update, I have COVID, and we're just gonna go beyond that, all right? I'm okay. I haven't really been like experiencing crazy symptoms. Sorry if you can hear Rue eating in the background. She chooses the worst times to do her business. But I haven't experienced crazy symptoms. I've just been having a headache for the past 5 days, and I have been congested in my nose. So if I sound congested, that's why. But apart from that, I'm fine. I have a couple more days in quarantine and then I'm good to go. Thanks to the vaccine, hashtag Pfizer Princess. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Moving on, 2L. 2L year has been very strange. And I say strange in that I don't feel super overwhelmed with school, but I do feel busy, but like a manageable busy. I don't feel completely like I can't handle my tasks. I'm not at school all the time either, and I'll share with you my schedule, but I think that's partially why I don't feel as busy, because although I'm at school 4 times a week, I'm not at, like, my days end before, like, the latest my days go on campus for most of the days are 2 o'clock. So I just don't really feel like, I don't know, I don't, if I'm at school, most of the time I'm choosing to stay there, or because I have some sort of after school, some extracurricular that I have to tend to, or like a meeting or something like that. But beyond that, like, if I don't want to be at school in the evenings, I really don't have to be. So I'll just tell you guys what my schedule is this semester, because I don't think I've ever shared what classes I'm taking. We'll start with Monday. Mondays, I go to school at 8:45. My class starts at 8:45, and I have analytical methods, which is kind of like accounting and economics for lawyers. I have to take that as a part of Emory's transactional law program. We have a transactional law certificate, and if you take these certain courses that are sort of geared towards like transactional work in the legal career, in the legal field, then you can get the certificate. And it's nothing crazy. The requirements aren't wild at all. It's literally just so that you can kind of say like you have these practical skills. Like, for example, I'm also taking contract drafting. There's like also business association, so just like learning about corporations, learning about finance. You have to take tax. So it's just a lot of the practical stuff that law school doesn't necessarily always prepare you for. They kind of say like law school is really like litigation driven, and that's important. You need to know how to write, you need to know how to research, but a lot of us don't want to even end up doing litigation, so it's kind of hard when you come out of law school and you don't really have those practical skills, and the only place you're really going to learn that is in your summers, but those summers fly by, and it's not always guaranteed that you're going to get to work on a lot of deals. So being able to have this actual practical experience while I'm in school is helping me feel like I'm really making use of the thousands of dollars that I'm giving to Emory Law. Analytical methods in the morning, and then immediately after that at 10:30 I have trademark law, and that goes until 12, and then after that my day is done on Mondays. So that's what I mean by like I really don't feel super busy, only because my classes are really front loaded in the mornings, and then I have the rest of the afternoons off. So usually what I'll do is I'll either stay at school and just like have lunch with my friends, and then come home and sort of give myself like a little bit of a break, and then start doing my homework. And then around like 5:30 I'll go and work out, come back, do some more homework or whatever else it is that I need to do, and that's pretty much it. On Tuesdays, even better, I have one class. So I have class from 12:15 to 1:45, and so that's what I meant by like 2 o'clock is on most days really my latest that I have to go. And that class is business associations. So some schools call it corporations, some schools call it business associations. It's literally just learning about like corporations and different corporate structures, businesses, how they're formed, liabilities, a super like standard class for law school and just like transactional work in general. And then moving from that, Wednesdays, they're my longest days, and that's why I kept kind of saying like most days my latest I go is 2 o'clock, but on Wednesdays I have the longest day. So I have those first 2 classes that I was telling you about on Monday. Starting my day at 8:45, and then I have a big chunk of time from when trademark ends at 12 until my contract drafting class, which starts at 4:15. That class is 3 hours and that goes until 7:15. It can be kind of painful. It's a good class because, again, like I said, it's one of those classes I'm taking for the certificate program, and so I'm learning a lot about like how to edit contracts and like what even goes into them, which has been super helpful because I like almost wish I had that class last year, because that would have made my transition into some of the work I was doing over the summer so much easier. But now I'm able to kind of like reflect on some of that stuff I was doing last semester, and it's just been easier for me to sort of now go through this class and start to remember, oh, like this is what I was doing on that contract I worked on or whatever. So 3 hours, and then either I'll go to a workout class after that because I work out near the school, or I'll just come home, and that's pretty much the end of my day. Thursdays are the same as Tuesdays, and then Fridays I have a class from 9 to 10, which is my externship course. So if you do an externship at Emory, you have to take an accompanying course with that, and you basically just like meet for an hour with the other, usually you're like taking a course based on like the kind of externship that you have. So because my externship is corporate counsel, I'm taking the corporate counsel externship course to accompany it, and then you're basically in a class with all the other students that are doing similar externships, and you basically are just supposed to like talk about it. We learn some things that are sort of geared towards like in-house counsel stuff, and that's pretty much it. It's literally just to kind of hold you accountable, make sure the professor like is in tune with what you guys are doing and all of that. Like it's nothing crazy. You don't have to do crazy assignments. It's really also just a place for you, like in case you're not getting enough work from your supervisor or like something's going wrong. That professor kind of acts as a person that you can like go to in case you have any of those problems. So then that leads me to talk about my externship. So my externship I was doing, if you guys remember, I was working with the sports and entertainment group that does the legal work for the Falcons and the United and some of Arthur Blank's other businesses. So I continued that internship this fall, and I'm doing that as an externship now. A lot of the work that I'm doing is pretty similar to what I was doing over the summer. I would say I'm probably doing less only because I have less time now that I have classes during the week. So in those off times, like when I'm not on campus, I'll be doing stuff for, like if I'm not doing homework, I'm probably doing stuff for my externship. Usually I'll have like 1 or 2 assignments per week. Some weeks are pretty light, other weeks are kind of heavier. It really just depends on what they want to give me. And honestly, I'm completely fine with that as long as I meet my hour requirements. We have to meet an hour requirement of I think like 120 hours. So as long as I'm meeting that, which is usually kind of like 10 to 12 hours per week, then we're good to go. And so that's been the goal. And I've really enjoyed it. It's allowed me to grow closer to those attorneys I was working with over the summer, and allowed me to just continue doing more of that like real world work when I'm like, for example, while I'm taking contract drafting, like I'm learning more and more, and then I can start to continue to implement those skills that I'm learning when I'm doing actual agreements for my externship. So it's been really fun doing that. Also, I highly recommend, if your school offers clinics or externships, to take those opportunities, because it has been such a relief to just like not be in the classroom all the time. Last semester, or last year really, I just felt like I was in the classroom all day. Like now being able to sort of have that time, like I'm doing a lot of the work remotely for my externship, but sometimes I'll go into the stadium to do work. And it's just been so nice, like to just be in the real world setting, working, and not feeling like all you do is read textbooks all day. That's been, to me, that's been one of the best parts of having an externship, aside from like the actual work that I'm doing. That's my schedule. That's really what I'm like, how my weeks look. Nothing crazy, like I said. A lot of my time is spent in this office. I'm still not ready to give you guys a tour yet, so I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to continue waiting on that. I've been slowly building up my furniture, slowly building up some of my decor, and so I just don't feel like giving you a tour yet, and that's out on that. I'm sorry, but to talk about some of my extracurriculars. So I'm not involved in a ton. Like I told you guys, I pulled out of the moot court competition last semester. Did not want to do it, realized I didn't want to do it. One of the best decisions of my life, because I realized that was not for me. I also did not do the write-on competition for a journal because I realized that I am tired of doing free work now. At least for my externship, I'm getting academic credit, okay? But like I really just wasn't, I did not see the value in being on journal. I do think that if I had tried, I think I would have made it, and I want to continue telling myself that, because before I used to think that, oh, like I only backed out because I was afraid, but I just knew that it wasn't for me. And I'm really glad that I was able to make those big decisions early on, as opposed to getting myself trapped in situations that I was only doing because I wanted to follow the pack. So that being said, this semester, really what I'm doing is I'm involved in our Black Law Students Association. I'm on the leadership board. My title is My title is co-director of academic and professional success. So I work with another, one of my other friends, and we basically just like help specifically the 1Ls with like their transition into law school. So like teaching them about like how to write an exam, a lot of like mentorship stuff. We run the BOLSA mentorship program. So we like match people, we match 2Ls and 3Ls with their 1L mentees based on like, you know, their interests and what type of work they're interested in going into and things like that, and their background. So a lot of what I do is kind of similar to what I already do with my YouTube channel, in terms of just like helping people get more acquainted with the law school process, and sort of like bringing in more people and trying to mold and shape them. So that's been really, really fulfilling to me, and that was like something that I knew I really wanted to be into. Like I told you guys, like everything I'm doing from now on has to be intentional, has to be purposeful. I'm not wasting any more time like I was in undergrad, where I was just like doing a bunch of things just to do them, really. So I'm trying to be more focused and like intentional about what I put my energy into. So I do that, and then I'm also on the Sports and Entertainment Law Society, and I'm the treasurer for that. Although we have different roles in that society, a lot of us, like, it's an all-female group, which is awesome, and a lot of us really work together to sort of like come up with different like networking panels that we're gonna have. So we all have kind of like a nice amount of creative say and like input into what like the society does, which I think is awesome, because even though we have specific roles like secretary or treasurer, like we really all work together to come up with these ideas for like, okay, how are we going to, you know, what kind of attorneys are we going to bring in for this panel, and blah blah blah. So really trying to work with really trying to do some cool things with that this semester and next semester, because I think Atlanta is a great place for sports and entertainment, and I think we need to make more use of the resources that we have to get the school like more in tune with what sports and entertainment opportunities they have, because I don't think that the school does that very well. So it's kind of up to us to do that. So that's been really cool. So those are the two things that I'm currently involved in. Last week, I will say that I tried out for our negotiations team. So the transactional law program, that same thing that I'm doing the certificate with, they also have a negotiations team, and that's something that I genuinely was like super interested in, and thought like, okay, if I'm going to be doing anything outside of school, anything outside of the roles that I already have, it would definitely be that. And the tryout was so fun. I really hope that I make it. I still don't know if I've made it, so fingers crossed for me, but it was really cool. It was like a 15-minute negotiation. We got this packet beforehand, and we had to kind of like, you know, figure out like which side we were on, and what our negotiation like deal points were going to be, and what our plan, like our strategy was going to be for negotiating. And that was really cool. We also had to like do stuff with like a contract, so the whole process was fun, and then also like being in the negotiation was really fun. So that's why I just really hope that I make it, because I was like, dang, I really enjoyed this, and I could really see myself doing this in the future. So fingers crossed. I still have no idea. Something else I've been trying to do in the meantime, because I think I had more time for this than I did last year, which is applying for scholarships. Last year, I really did a poor job of doing that. Luckily, I got one last spring within our Black Law Students Association, so that was super helpful. But overall, like a lot of the time if I wasn't working on school, I was applying for jobs or like doing something job related. So this semester, I've been trying to be on the lookout some more for like scholarships that I could apply for, because at this point I have a pretty good reserve of like personal statements, and a lot of the time it's really just like sending a personal statement in, and you know, your transcript and your resume. So it's not that much work, and that's why I'm trying to force myself to just be like put in a little bit more time to just apply to a few scholarships. So that's what I've been doing. I did that this morning, and I've just been trying to get myself to do a little bit more of that, because these loans, baby, they're not gonna pay itself. The bills is due now, not later. So I need to get on that. Besides that, guys, like 2L really, like I said, 2L has not been that crazy. Like, you know, my roles do require a lot of attention, specifically the one that I have with the Black Law Students Association. We plan a lot of events, so I'm pretty busy with that. But aside from that, like school, I feel pretty good. I've been participating in classes more than I ever did last year. I spend less time reading and more time reviewing now, which is also great. And I won't even say that I'm not reading per se. Maybe for one class I could probably read more for, but it's not so much that I'm not even not reading. It's that like I spend less time trying to like brief and trying to make sure I have like perfect notes, and really just trying to make sure I get the main takeaways from everything. And that's actually really helped me be a little bit more engaged in class and actually participate more, because I really find that I'm picking out what the professor is already asking for when I'm doing my readings the night before. I'm not doing anything ahead of time. I'm literally reading, getting prepared for whatever class I have the next day, and I've been really enjoying that approach. I'm ready for class, I contribute, and that's pretty much, you know, what I wanted and what I needed. I will say that now that we are I think we're about 8 weeks in now, I've started to review. I have a midterm for my business associations class next week, so I'm definitely reviewing for that over this weekend, and I've been reviewing over this past week. I'm starting to outline for all of my other classes, because I think it's time to kind of buckle down now. We're past the midway point of the semester, so it's time to definitely start making these outlines. And like, it's very similar to kind of how I was studying last semester, where I'm not making an outline for every class. It just kind of depends. So this BA midterm is going to be closed book. There's no point in me making an outline, right? But I do need to make like charts and stuff that's going to help me sort of memorize things, memorize certain rules, and then obviously doing practice quizzes and practice you know, written exams, because that's what the test is going to be a combination of. So that's kind of how I've been studying, pretty similar to last semester, because I felt like that one worked, and I felt like that was the most efficient, considering I started studying way later in the semester than I did in the fall. And that's kind of, I think I'm on the similar timeline now. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will continue to keep you guys updated with whether or not that changes, but I have a feeling it won't. I think I'm going to continue with that. And then lastly, aside from school, I do have job updates. I'm going to be returning back to the firm that I worked at over the summer, which was Bryan Cave. And it's a firm that is based in the Midwest. It's a global firm. They have offices in London, offices in the Middle East, around Europe, and around the United States, and in Asia. So I'm going to be working at the Atlanta office though, which is what I did last semester. However, plot twist, I'm going to be splitting. And so that's why I really have not talked about my job procs, like what I'm doing next summer, a lot, because it was very up in the air. Not so much with the firm. I got an offer to return in August. I just didn't talk about it as much. And that is primarily because I was trying to sort of negotiate a split between the law firm and this investment banking firm that I want to work for. So I will be splitting my summer next summer with a law firm and an investment banking firm. And for the first 2 weeks of the summer, so the last, I'm going to start off my summer with Bryan Cave for a couple weeks, and then go to the investment banking firm in LA for June and July, and then I'm going to come back and finish out my summer with the law firm again. That's something very typical that law firms are, just kind of like a very typical setup, specifically with firms that you've worked for before. So like if you had worked for a firm in your 1L summer, it's very likely that you could negotiate a split in your 2L summer, because they've already sort of seen your work, they've already met you, the whole firm's gotten to know you, and so your chances of being able to split with, you know, some other sort of position, more commonly with another law firm, those chances are higher. However, for me, a little different, a little unorthodox to split with an investment banking firm. But this opportunity came through an alum at the university, at Emory, who basically did just that. He started off being an M&A lawyer, and then he went off and did investment banking, and he's trying to sort of expose more law students to that opportunity, saying like, look, you might not have an MBA, but the things that you learn as a JD are very, very critical to a lot of the M&A work that we do within investment banking, and the rest of the business stuff you can sort of learn, you know, outside of school. So, and the great thing about the transactional program at Emory is that I'm able to learn a lot of that stuff that I'll need to learn, like accounting, in class, like while I'm still here. So even though I'm not necessarily getting an MBA, a lot of the transactional classes that I'm taking will be helpful for me when I go into this internship next summer. And then again, a lot of it is really like just I'm gonna have to learn on the job, and I'm just gonna have to work harder than a lot of the other people there because they're business students in undergrad. So I'm gonna be doing like a banking analyst position. So it's kind of taking like a little of a downgrade, I guess, in terms of like position, right, as a JD student, and I'd be working with like literally undergrad students. But I see this as a really great opportunity for me to learn some different skills that I don't think a lot of JD students have. And I think especially in the corporate world that I'm trying to get into, I think that having these skills will really, whether I go into law or whether I go into investment banking, like I've always wanted to be a jack of all trades. I've always wanted to be super diverse in this type of skills that I have and what I can bring to the table. I never want to be boxed in, and like I never want to be pigeonholed into something. So that's why, you know, sometimes law frustrates me, because I feel like they really force you to niche super early. You know, I'm 24 and I have to sort of decide the trajectory of my whole career right now. And obviously you play the game and you sort of pick what you're interested first, and I think that that's probably the best way to go about it. But it's hard to know what you do and don't like yet until you get those experiences, right? Like this past summer was the first corporate job I ever had, the first major legal job I ever had. So it was a lot on me to sort of feel like I had to choose right then and there. Luckily, a lot of the experiences I had sort of confirmed what I already was interested in, which I'm really happy about. But at the same time, I think that going into this investment banking position is going to be really helpful for me to continue narrowing that down and continue figuring out like what's my path. Like that's, you know, and you don't have a lot of time. It feels like you don't have a lot of time. And so that's why I said again, like I'm trying to be as intentional as possible with everything I'm doing, not wasting anyone else's time, but also trying to make the best use of mine. So I'm really, proud of myself that I was able to sort of arrange that situation for myself next summer, because I really thought I was going to have to pick one or the other. And this is a lesson for you guys moving forward. Like everything can be negotiated. Everything can be worked out. Like if you, like it's all just about compromising. Like as long as you're willing to figure out, okay, creative solutions to how you can make what you want happen and still make sure that the other person's getting what they want, like I promise you guys, it's possible. Same way that you can negotiate your law school scholarships, like same way you can negotiate these positions, your salaries, like these are really good skills to continue developing now moving forward into your career. And I really hope that I can continue to be an example of that, especially somebody like I always will come back to, somebody who did not do supremely well on the LSAT, but still made it to a good law school, still made it to a good law firm, and is making it to a great investment bank. So I'm going to be working with Rothschild and Co. and at their LA office. So I'm really excited. I think now moving forward, I'm just going to continue learning as much as I can about those skills that I'm going to need to have, really trying to get as acquainted with accounting as I can be, continuing to pick my classes sort of tailored towards that finance, corporate finance world, continuing to learn those skills because they are pretty, I wouldn't say that they're super math heavy, but like I'm definitely doing more math than I have in the past year. So I'm trying to kind of bring those skills back. It was never really my favorite subject, but I think I've learned that like it's literally just practicing it and drilling it. I'll be fine. So that's basically my approach for the rest of this year, is like taking the time that I can to apply for scholarships, and then just making sure that I'm intentional about the kind of classes that I'm taking. Getting excited about the opportunity to be in LA for the summer. I've always wanted to move out west, and I never really had the opportunity. I don't know if I told you guys, like, I mean, you've seen it in my videos, like I got waitlisted to every West Coast school that I applied to. I thought in undergrad I would end up on the West Coast. Like I've never made my way over there, and so the fact that the way that this all turned out is so crazy, and I can't wait to continue to keep you guys updated on that path so that you guys can see that there are other ways that you can use your legal education, because I think that's something that the law schools also don't do a great job of is like helping you realize that you don't have to end up at law firms. You don't have to end up doing law, period. Your JD can get you far in a lot of other industries. You just have to, I just have to make yourself available to those opportunities, even when they seem foreign. Trust me guys, when I applied for this, I was like, I have no finance background, no business background, like literally studied political science in undergrad, no economics, nothing. And so when I put myself out there, I was just kind of like, who knows, right? Like, I'm just gonna try it out because I think this is a great opportunity. And I think that if I can get a JD, why not? Like, if I can put myself out there and get a law degree, why not? Okay, I never thought I could do this. So for it to work out the way that it did and to still be able to have the legal experience at the same time next summer has been such a blessing, and I'm just so grateful. And I can't wait to share that experience with you guys so that you can see like, okay, maybe this might be something that I'd also be interested in doing too. Although it's rare, it's still possible. So that's really it for my update, guys. That's how my year is going so far. That's what my summer is gonna look like. And I really just want to say thank you to you guys for your patience with me kind of posting intermittently. As always, please reach out to me whenever you need to. And also, don't forget, again, like I said, to check out analuisany.com. Everything that you're gonna need to find the website and to find your earrings. They also have more than just earrings. They have necklaces and they also have really, really cute rings. I didn't get any of the rings because I really wear these two the most, like every single day, because I got them from my uncle and I love wearing them. So I probably won't switch up my ring jewelry, but I also love little dainty necklaces. This isn't Ana Luisa, but I'm just saying they have necklaces and they have other types of earrings. So again, like I said, if you're interested in cute little dainty earrings, cute rings that you can like stack, and necklaces that you can layer, because I think that that's super in right now. They're a bit more, I guess, on the pricier side. Like, this isn't Shein, y'all. This isn't Pretty Little Thing, okay? But it is good quality, and it is also an ethical company, which I think is super important, because I know that I'm always thinking about like how terrible fast fashion is and how terrible it is that I just keep buying from these stores. So this is something that I can feel a little bit good about in terms of not damaging the environment and also paying their employees adequately. Okay, so the jewelry pieces are made in the United States and they're also made in France. One of their main offices is in New York. So I would definitely check them out. Remember to use my code BEX10, and I'll put that here, for 10% off of your first order. Everything else that you're gonna need to know will be in the description box below. So make sure to check them out. Thank you, Ana Luisa, for sending me these really cute pieces, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next video. Bye.